Welcome to Learn with Lydia, the place where learning English is always an adventure. Today we're going to take a journey through the airport, learning all the English vocabulary you need to navigate this exciting and sometimes confusing environment. Learning vocabulary to do with travel is really important if you want to go on holiday or a business trip, or maybe just visit friends and family. Whether you're a frequent flyer or a first-time traveler, understanding the language of the airport can make your journey smoother and less stressful. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Lydia and I'm an English language teacher. This is only my second video on YouTube, so please excuse me if I make any mistakes. I am very new to this. All the material I will be using is my own. I love creating lessons and I love teaching one-to-one. So if you would like a private lesson with me, please click the link in the description box below and I can meet you in person and I can tailor lessons to your needs, your level and your interests. This lesson is going to be about travel. It's the first lesson in a series that I will be releasing. The lesson today will be focused on the airport. It's really important to learn vocabulary to do with the airport because a lot of you will want to travel to different countries. Maybe it'll be for work, meeting friends, or just to explore new horizons. So let's begin with some warm-up questions. This is really good to get you start speaking, get your brain warmed up. What I will do is give you 10 seconds. 5 of those seconds you can use to think about your answer, and then the remaining 5 to tell me your answer. I will also be answering in my own words so you can see how a native speaker might respond. Remember, if you need to take your time, you can. This whole lesson is supposed to be relaxing and fun because that's the best way we're going to learn English. So if you need longer to answer these questions or to do any of the activities in this lesson, then please just pause the video and take your time, or you can even slow down the playback speed if you click on the settings just below this video. And again, if you would like a one-to-one lesson, please email me and we can arrange that. So let's begin. Approximately how many flights have you been on? So I have been on around 10 flights, which is quite a lot, but I would love to go on more. If you know me, you know that I love to travel. Question number 2. In your opinion, which of these is the worst to experience during a flight? A crying baby, food that tastes horrible, or sitting next to someone who smells really bad? Personally, I think the worst situation of these 3 would be sitting next to someone who smells very bad, because if there is a baby that's crying, you can easily block your ears and watch a video, listen to music. It's not going to be too bad. Food that tastes horrible, I always bring snacks when I go flying because I love to eat, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. I would still have something. Lastly, sitting next to someone who smells very bad, that is very hard to ignore. Even if you block your nose, you're still going to be uncomfortable. Luckily for me, I have not experienced any of these things, and hopefully I never will. Okay, final question. Which location would you most like to fly to? I would most like to fly to Kenya because I love animals, I love safaris, and I would love to see these beautiful creatures in their natural habitat. Before we go further into this lesson, it is important that you familiarize yourself with this key vocabulary. So please take a moment to look at the pictures and their words below. I will now repeat these words so that you can be sure that you pronounce them correctly. So we have first, airline, airport, arrivals, baggage, baggage claim, boarding pass, cart, check-in counter, cockpit, and control tower. On the final line, we have crew or cabin crew, customs, departures, duty-free, and emergency exit. Duty-free is just another word for the shops that you will come into contact with when you're in the airport. They're usually tax-free and are normally things like perfume or clothes. Okay, next I want you to order these events from the moment you step into the airport until the time when you step off your airplane into your new location. If you're a first-time flyer, this might be all very new to you, so hopefully it will be extra helpful. Or if you're experienced at flying, this will be a great way to familiarize yourself with the words which will be coming up at English-speaking airports. Okay? So the first thing we need to do when we arrive at the airport is to check in our baggage and collect our boarding pass. So this is the desk, usually at the front of the airport, and there will sometimes be a sign above to say which airline this check-in desk works for. So make sure you go to the correct one. Next up, after we've collected our boarding pass, we will walk with our hand luggage to the customs area and security checks. This is where we have to take off our shoes, take things like electronics out of our hand luggage and take it through the scanner, and there'll also be body scans as well. Once we get past that part, we can enjoy some duty-free shopping, all tax-free, some great gifts, maybe some perfume or souvenirs. Souvenirs are tourist items such as stamps or magnets to go on your fridge. After that, it is important that we find our flight gate and board our flight. So there is usually a big TV screen that has all the gate numbers along with your flight number. Okay, once you're waiting at the correct gate, you can board your flight, and after you board your flight, you will land at your desired destination and you can exit. They sometimes call this deplane. So if someone says deplane, they simply mean exiting the flight. Once we exit the flight, we have to go through immigrations and border control. This is a very scary part where they check your passport, your visas, and they're always very serious, but it's best to just smile and be friendly and remember they are just doing their job. Next, we collect our baggage from the baggage claim area. Sometimes they call this a carousel. They're usually numbered with the flight number so you know which one to go to. Okay, brilliant. So I hope this explained the process more clearly. Next up, we are going to do a fun role play. So I'm going to ask you some questions and you will be the flight attendant. You can use the information on this slide to answer my questions, and I'll also be giving answers as well in a way that a native English speaker might respond. So firstly, I am a customer and I'm going to ask you, what time does our aeroplane arrive? If you need to, you can pause the video if you need more time to search for the information. Okay, so our flight arrives on Sunday at 12:05 p.m. here. My next question as a passenger is, excuse me, what's the temperature like at our destination? So our destination is Salt Lake City and the temperature is 25 degrees. Excellent. Well done so far. Let's move on to our next activity. So here I have a passage that I would like you to read. Please pause the video if you need more time. If you're really concerned about pronunciation, remember you can book a one-to-one lesson with me where we can go over this together. Okay, so how flying changes us. We cry more. We have little control over our environment while we are traveling by plane, although we may not be consciously aware of our emotional vulnerability. A 2017 survey found that 15% of men and 6% of women are more likely to cry while watching a film on a flight than if they were to watch that movie on land. Altitude levels and the air conditions of planes can affect people's emotional and physical states and alter the chemicals in our brain. So, how did you do with that exercise? Was there a few words you didn't understand? Maybe you were unsure about emotional vulnerability. Vulnerability is like another way of saying weakness. Something that you're feeling vulnerable about could be maybe the way you look, maybe you feel upset about something, and therefore, for the rest of the day, you might be feeling vulnerable because you're really upset. You're not feeling strong. It's the opposite to emotional strength. Another word you might be unsure about is altitude levels. That's just talking about the height. So the higher you go in the air, the altitude levels will change. If there's any more words you're unsure about, comment down below and I will be happy to answer your question. Good. Let's move on to the next activity. And now I want you to read another passage about how flying changes us and how it changes the taste of food. Pause the video if you need more time, and I will also be reading this passage so you can compare your pronunciation. Okay, the dry air of a flight cabin can reduce our sense of smell, which is an important factor in taste. Low air pressure and background noises further impact the way we taste by repressing the ability to taste sweet and salty foods. For example, to taste the same as on land, airline caterers have to add up to 30% more sugar and salt to a meal. A 2010 study found that the loud noises on aircraft enhance the flavor of umami, the savory taste found in foods like Parmesan cheese, tomato juice, and soy sauce. Good. So, how did you do on this passage? Are there any words you're unsure about? Again, if you are, please comment down below. Or if you'd like to go over this in more detail, you can book a private lesson with me. If you're unsure about what caterer means, they're the people that are providing the food. They're serving the food, they might be cooking the food. It's their job to feed the people, to feed the guests. Okay, next activity. Interesting aeroplane facts. Please read these facts below and I will be repeating them so you can compare your pronunciation. Okay, our first fact. Because of the moisture-free environment, it is estimated that you're around 100 times more likely to catch a cold on a flight. Oh dear. The dryness of the air means you lose about 8 ounces of water from your body for every hour you fly. That's about 2 liters during a 10-hour flight. So remember to stay hydrated. Bacteria levels in the tap water on planes are around 100 times higher than the amount allowed in the United States. The tap water in planes can contain salmonella, staphylococcus, and tiny insect eggs. Now, that is a couple of hard words to say, which are very uncommon, so please don't worry too much if you have trouble pronouncing staphylococcus. And this fact made me especially worried because I would often fill my water bottle up in men's bathrooms, and oh, now I wish I didn't. Last fact, in 2008, English became the international language of flight. All air traffic controllers and flight crew members engaged in or in contact with international flights must be proficient in the English language. So again, guys, highlighting how important it is for you to brush up on your English language skills. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. This was my first episode of my free travel series. If you enjoyed this lesson, you can also have a one-to-one with me. Just click my email address in the description box below. Well done again. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Let's Learn with Lydia. I hope to be releasing new content every week, so I would love to hear your feedback and any suggestions for future videos. Thank you again for watching. Remember, life is an adventure, and what better way to explore it than with English? Join us on our journey and let's explore together.